wipe. That's stunning. That's stunning. And this could be this year's most open heartbreak. If you look at this game, there is a chance for an upset now. Now, whether or not FPX are the team to be able to pull that off is what we're here to see.
Open up here with a little bit of presence shown towards B initially. A smoke invested as well. Like Scream and Shin going to have their hands full if they do commit to this push. Actually, I think Atsi getting ping on the reveal as well there.
Yeah, Berlin. We'll wander around. Just wait and see where that first real commitment comes from. Because again, keep your eye on the, I guess, the amount of attention to pushing towards these sites. They're already peeling away. So they're drawing a fair amount of utility from C.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think Navera almost hitting the panic button there to send the paranoia through. Shin still here. He's playing off the contact of that alarm bot. FPX have stacked up here.
Ooh, the flash didn't actually connect.
Yeah, no confirmation.
So actually might help them out, keeping more players present towards that B site, you know, still able to pull the retake. We're at 45 seconds here. They need to make them a commitment, and they are. Shin going to draw first blood, and the follow-up as well. Stunning work already. The B site somewhat under wraps until then, but it's KARMINE Corp with a shutdown right now. One player standing, and 4 to find in this B site here. It really did not have much to it. There was not much leg to it. There was not pulling rotations, and there's a 4-man firing squad. It's round 1 to KARMINE Corp.
Yeah, again, crediting the drawing out of a lot of that utility over towards C, obviously with that contact towards Mound, with the door coming through as well. Again, after that, a little late on the rotation, I've got to say it. KARMINE Corp, after not really feeling the pinch towards site, happened to just funnel back in all the way through Link. And like I said, actually at that point, there was no pressure towards B. That alarm bot was still untouched even from that early pressure shown. Shin had a couple of freebies to work with there. FPX looking to work the map though in the pistol. See if that does continue. And switch up here on the Viper wall actually invested over towards A, but no presence gained on the back of it. Yeah, Scream going to clear all of this, and going to find no information on the other side of it.
Yeah, pretty big. Again, yes, you can sit super deep towards that A side of things, but it looks like he really wants to continue clearing towards this. In the meantime, we're once again seeing what looks like a B pop, maybe just be off the back of contact, but at this point, the utility's perfect. They're not really sweating right now.
Yeah, this is a brutal setup to push into as well. It's like KARMINE Corp are going to rely heavily on that alarm bot.
It's lovely. It's really well considered here by KARMINE Corp. Now, again, we don't know how deep this goes for them, if this is a really comfortable map, but so far, looking quite nice, not really threatened by anything we've been seeing.
I guess the early objectives for FPX is to figure out what the default Killjoy setup is of XMS. Try and deal with some of that utility. And formulate some kind of plan on the back of it. Luzera just poised ready here with the recon. Again, this wall. Gonna go up, gonna make it so difficult. Shin just getting another freebie, that spike isolated as well. Scream now coming through to punish from behind.
Yeah, he doesn't have to go too hard. They're just being completely mullered here. This is pretty brutal. Yes, if they wanted to try and swing towards the other side, you saw the KJ set up to an extent with XMS. He wasn't particularly pressured, and the shutdown should be coming in. Nice shot. Needed more, not going to get more. There we go. Clean enough for Alive, and once again, this Viper setup towards B is fabulous. It's working well. Seen a little bit from the KJ coming in here too. Yeah,
I'm curious here if on the buy round, FPX going to lean a little heavier towards A. Obviously, that switch up with the Viper in the previous. Whether there's going to be any progress towards Rubble. Actually, whether or not this A site is going to get tested. Navera actually switching up, it looks like. We did see him over towards C on the pistol round at least. The brothers in arms may be tasked with holding down the A site. It's a heavy stack actually. Only really one member of FPX disconnected from this.
Yeah, it's a good read so far from KARMINE Corp as well. Right place for it. For the utility scene as well, they're going to be feeling quite correct in this, and a little bit of a ping towards Berlin. They're going to note that too. So may kind of start strengthening or maybe exploring the other side of the map, but we'll see. We'll see what this default looks like as well from FPX, see if they take their time here too.
The key thing being, XMS has actually completely switched up here. Has all of his utilities stacked across both entrances to A site. One actually just behind the choke here in tree. The tower lined up here and should spot the molly as well. We'll have to see what the response is here from FPX. That should be a big indicator that KARMINE Corp have completely flipped up their defensive setup for this round. Already though, bodies making their way towards A side. Scream ready to break the wall. I'd say Berlin going to go ahead and do it for him. The flash is perfect on the back of that. But no kill though.
I have no idea how Scream didn't get that. I don't know if he maybe caught
Berlin ate that flash.
Yeah, it was full blind it looked like. Well, that's a start. That's a freebie. But you can see the utility now into play. XMS is just loving this, getting all that information. Yes, one has to look towards side TZH, but gets quickly handled. We're going to see the trade coming out. So, currently 3 players. Make it just 2, make it just 1. Nevera last alive. Spike now down. Patience paying dividends for FPX here.
Nevera only with Marshall in hand. I mean, it should be an indicator. We saw why you pick up that kill inside the poison orb. There's no real weapon for him to retrieve here. So not they he will be given a consolation. FPX should be holding on to 4 of these rifles here. Actually, a very well-crafted round.
And considering the correct positioning, let's say, from KARMINE CORP, they had the players in the right place. They were pretty well prepared. I thought it was FPX who were going to be on.
Yeah, Nevera looking to fight fire with fire early on with a shorty.
Does he get a little exit? No, I was so close, not going to get it now though. Actually,
oh, wow.
tell a lie. Took one down, that's a rifle lost.
Actually, Berlin with no armor either, so a couple of repurchases required. We'll have to see if they can spread.
Oh, it's way fake.
Stream. Thanks for the replay.
Headshot machine, just not hitting.
But so far, I mean, this is the main discussion to have around Breach is obviously the ability to deny this early space towards rubble. Actually, we see TZH actually mixing things up a little bit with a smoke to kind of deny information, maybe even to play anti-flash versus Scream. Not to get pinged out here, and actually completely unconsidered. Nevera's way ahead of this smoke.
Yeah, they are getting hyper-aggressive on this. I want to see what they can achieve with it. And yeah, Nevera gets away with murder. Daylight robbery towards Berlin, but it is traded out, so not going to have so much of an impact beyond that, but very telling. I'm looking towards Spike still. I want to see if there is layers to this, because it's already KARMINE CORP exploring the rest of the map now as a reaction.
So yeah, we'll find something here. The turret will fall as well, so Shin and Scream getting proactive just outside B here. FPX are drifting back towards the side of the map that KARMINE CORP still have bodies on.
Yeah, I wonder how much this gets heard by Scream as well. Yeah, definitely going to hear that.
And XMS is tucked in deep here. It's almost an anti-rush setup. You can see the molly being pinged out here as well. It's all on the back of contact here, but dealing with the first, XMS might be in trouble here if you look at the minimap.
There's no one
a little isolated, yeah.
Yeah, Scream can maybe make it there somewhat soon, but already seeing Nuzera holding the other side of the map, so that's a huge benefit. Now they're a little stuck and a little bit worried about that door. Just being tested, but lovely work from XMS, holding well and effective trades, leaving it in a 1v2. Mind you, this is not a comfortable scenario. Tap on the spike to draw some attention, but 20 seconds is so little to play with. The double face coming out, and KARMINE CORP keeping it safe, but losing a couple of weapons, down to 2 rifles here, but again, it's rounds on the board.
Yeah, not much for YU to do in that situation. Another example of how much pressure this door opening at that time before FPX can even find themselves inside C site. Scream just playing a little diversion. Distract away, allow XMS to really tuck into side, but it's interesting to see here. Nevera actually punishing the placement of that wall. It makes it so difficult for anyone to really help TZH. Like I said, I kind of like that smoke on the backside of rubble so that he can potentially play on the back of the reveal from Berlin. It does create that little pocket, as you can see here from the overhead. But yeah, Nevera not respecting that early round setup whatsoever.
Nevera, yeah, this time going to do a little better than the brother. But Scream wants a little bit for himself as well. Let's see if they can keep these rifles up. Nice work. Until then, so rifle down for now. That's the second loss. This is where it starts getting a little bit worrying, because now you've got Shin, for example, in no man's land for a second there, and it could have been a follow-up punish.
Yeah.
Luckily, gets away with his life. Rifles aren't super recoverable, but they may have to give up that space and allow those rifles to fall into the hands of FPX.
Nuzera going to try and clear through with the drone, but not really going to get much valuable information here.
Yeah.
Already aware of the presence and no possibility of a spam coming through. Got to be careful here. I mean, YU's down to just a lick of HP here. Yeah, that's 2 rifles across, actually. The Bulldog now for TZH as well.
Yeah, this is massive. And the ult maybe filtering towards the side absolutely does. Will allow maybe a cross here. Spam could be dangerous, but the turret going to clear close.
I mean, they have a lockdown as well.
Yeah, not finding much in this regard. I want to see what they go for here. XMS now trying to creep a little bit closer. Spams on him, but the spike's now down. This is huge work. TZH just on the other side of this wall, but there's that lockdown coming in and the counter roll coming through as well.
XMS lucky to get that kill, though. TZH will fall. Now putting in a 2v3 for FPX, but they have to respect this lockdown. The little pocket to play inside here at drop, and it's not spammed out initially. Oh my god!
The angle is so good! The angle is so good, just on the edge of the ult. It was perfect from Yuchan. That was stunning.
I mean, KARMINE CORP almost panicking there with the time that's left, barreling back inside that Viper's pit that did overlap as well, but the investment of the lockdown really burning the clock in FPX's favor. And some beautiful openers here after...
Lovely shots.
Like I said, Nivera not respecting the setup in the previous year, but KARMINE CORP just throwing heads on the line to try and challenge.
Talking bigger picture as well, though, I don't mind if KARMINE CORP do want to get a little almost over-aggressive, stamp authority on the game, play a little bit almost not disrespectful, but get in their faces, be willing to take a fight. It's risky, though, with the economy being where it's at.
I mean, this is what I was kind of hinting at. With the lack of a reach, that space denial relies on aggression, right? If you are going to go for that early on, think about the same discussion for Haven defense towards A lobby. It requires presence, and quite deep presence, to kind of counterbalance the issues with his composition. Scream looking to get a little aggro with this flash, but not going to find any connection just yet.
And now big trouble. Just about getting away. Scoreline could be closed up here at 3 apiece. And it's just a default. Very patient so far, taking a little bit more territory towards that C side of the map.
I like this, so they've got Yuchan over towards A side as well, just in case KARMINE CORP try and probe both extremities. Flash won't reveal anything, and I think FPX are thinking they found a little bit of space towards C, and if you look at the minimap, it's a lot of space towards C, Lauren.
Oh, this is lovely. It's a gamble stack from KARMINE CORP, perfectly reasonable in a round like this, maybe just off the back of limited information. And yeah, for now you now know, uh-oh, wrong place. But for the other side, for FPX, see if they can keep 5 standing. That's what we always look for, is seeing that diligence, see if they're as clear cut as possible. For now, spike now down, and the first noted towards CT. That's Shin now seen.
So difficult to get back on this C side here with how deep this control is towards spawn. Shin and XMS going to fall off the rip. Scream desperate to try and find something. There's nothing left here. FPX going to clean this one up. Nivera will connect with the Paranoia, but...
Oof. Lovely.
Well handled. 4 will survive. KARMINE CORP can't get much done with those Sheriffs. Look back to this round. See, actually, if the same thing happens once again, if KARMINE CORP don't feel comfortable with that aggression outside A, actually C is going to be the solution to that. You know, see the 3 members across this side once again. Nivera being one of them, whether or not he's going to get aggro. Just waiting to see the investment of the Viper Wall from Yuchan. Might actually be towards B site. Yeah, it is. It's wide open right now. It's only the alarm bot to hold that down.
They were being bullied by the Viper setup on the first couple of rounds, trying to eye up that B site, but maybe this is the time to try and readdress this. See, already the stall's in place. It would be potentially fatal to try and approach this. But certainly drawing eyes across, so let's see if there is any of that aggression going to be punished. Still have almost that mirror default over towards the A site as it stands. And the rotation towards C, noting no one close by, sending the ult and catching no one.
Looks
already,
like a fake,
KARMINE
though.
CORP sitting super deep.
I'm going to draw out the lockdown potentially. XMS thinking about it.
Does he pull the trigger on it though?
I mean, it's a massive investment, and there's no real progress onto another site here, so you got to question that initially. Nivera still with very deep control here towards A. FPX looking to pop onto B site.
Okay, I said this could be fatal. It's a little bit better timing now, but again, let's see what they can do. The shorty in hand, Berlin, the only one to really connect so far, and they break through towards A, but there's a pinch. Nivera right amongst them, one to the right, one to the left, and he found 2! Nivera can't quite make the 3rd count, but there's only one still standing. A 1v3 to boot with 30 seconds. He wants a pick so badly, and XMS, that realization hits, and he hits the brakes. They hold. They know this is a fake now.
Yeah, love this discipline here from Shin and Nuzera. XMS can't get isolated here, but stands his ground.
Nice.
Picks it up, and the crazy thing to consider, actually, I think I just saw YU back on another lockdown, which FPX are going to be happy to have that in their arsenal. But yeah, a little curious about the investment here towards that fake and whether or not it wasn't, you know, they didn't get enough pings on C side. They didn't feel confident with, you know, cutting the sound from 2 or 3 players. But Nevera's done fantastic to get this deep control and maintain it. Bear in mind, there were members of FPX lingering outside A site. Yuchen constantly looking to pressure, but Nevera stands his ground.
That's a huge rep from him. Great point, actually. That discipline, that ability to not over-rotate, over-react, hold that space was incredibly valuable. 4-3, though. Quite the close game so far. See where this continues to tilt. Both sides able to fashion a purchase here. See a couple of ults available as well. And again, that early pressure towards C. Let's see if they pull a rotation. I want to see what their plan is, and what they keep in mind here, FPX, seeing what they're trying to draw reaction-wise, but a massive stack from KARMINE.
Yeah, look at B site.
Yeah. And they're actually working off the back of it too. There was consideration to commit to that.
Yeah, it looked as if Shin really wanted to get aggressive behind that drone.
Pacey.
Easily here on the back of that though, smoke invested. Scream gonna back away towards Tree. Does have a little bit of support coming through from A-Link. Actually now a third in the form of Nuzera.
They need something to pull a player
FPX
away.
look very hesitant in some of these rounds, Lauren.
I'm waiting to see if there's anything else to this. Nevera's paranoia. Ooh! Just stepping into Scream and actually finds it. Now the panic stations, but look at the lurk as well. That potential is huge. That could be a dagger in the back that we've yet to see come into practice yet. So Spike gonna go down, and there's 4 players from KARMINE Corp towards CT. So for now, all good though. You're gonna see the Killjoy carrying all the way back around. This is all towards the site. Already great trades coming in, and FPX actually holding on to this. They are not down just yet.
Yeah, the lockdown's invested just as 2 players fall as well. So XMS and Nevera have to get something done. Berlin happy to challenge this actually, but Nevera there to punish.
Yeah, maybe a little overstep. They're trying to go towards it, and a tap towards the Spike, and now starting to panic. TZH gonna try and get himself in, shorty to hand, and gets just drawn into the blender. Doesn't mind, he's gonna sit it out, take the damage. It's not a problem. He will be the defender on this, and that's perfect play. I love watching this, and what a way to lock it down in the end.
I love that it gets called on the desk, and we're seeing shorty plays being pulled out here
The egg
by
is
FPX.
smart. The egg knew what was up.
I love that
Looks
as well, the
Dungeon's
TP in and
working
just sitting on top of the friendly nano swarm as well. It's completely unconsidered
And the
by
reduction in
KARMINE Corp.
damage, it just worked out so well, mate. It's such a gutsy play, though. You just don't see that sort of thing.
This is the thing, though. Like a minute or so into this round, you're looking at where FPX are, and you're thinking. I mean, they've drawn out a fair bit of utility, but KARMINE Corp seem to have a good read on where to rotate and when. It's just on the back of a slow creep there to find that first blood, where it then kind of descends into chaos, I'll be honest. Unfortunate timing there. XMS invest in the lockdown, then 2 players of KARMINE Corp fall immediately, making that a little more difficult. So curious here, actually coming out of this timeout, if there is going to be a big switch up here for KARMINE Corp. I mean, it's 4-4. It feels like a close affair, but FPX definitely trying to plant some seeds.
Say it, Mike.
It feels a little all over the place, I'll be honest. They've got away with a few rounds where it's kind of raw firepower on the other side of that. I mean, Shin's stood his ground a number of times on B site. It doesn't necessarily feel like there's, you know, a weak point that FPX are going to be able to exploit so far, but they're scraping rounds through, so you can't fault that at all.
No, and it's scrappy, right? I don't think we were ever going to get a clean game out of Lotus yet, in my mind, unless someone's like just super drilled on it. But as I said,
it's scrappy, but it's not puggy. It's
not puggy.
It all kind of looks intentional in that regard.
It's bizarre to me, but it may be something to be looking at regionally if that pays off for them. Maybe a couple of teams expecting this sort of kind of a little out there play style, but it's working well enough for now. Again, let's roll and keep in mind, KARMINE Corp picked up the pistol, so this scoreline, if you put it in context, if it keeps going this way.
Big info from Berlin's reveal there. XMS looking to get.
He's heard so much though.
Yeah.
But what can you do, XMS? That's not bad! Nevera by his side! Gonna get the reload in time! Yes, he can! XMS! Worth his weight in gold! And now leaving them in tatters, just TZH. The Aldron got a spot too, could not get worse here. Oh, just layering in the utility, just buying a couple more precious seconds, and now the support system's in place. But maybe overzealous in the peak there, 6 HP, it's not gonna be enough. Shin shuts it down, and between Nevera and XMS, that was lovely.
That is beautiful, because with that reveal, I think it pings 3, and they're almost probably thinking that it's like, yeah, it's a stack. They're gonna run this dry on the 50 round. They're gonna try and get deep control towards Rubble. The XMS tucks himself in Navera from the back lines to give him the support. The perfect timing on this swing. And the fact that XMS gets the reload and finds another kill on top of that. Beautiful round from KARMINE CORP. The saving grace, really, because you've got to feel like the timeouts for this round now.
Yeah.
Back on a purchase. We got us on Navera by at the last second there. So,
Wait.
another opener here, very early on. XMS has dug out the lurk here. YU for FPX. So should actually relinquish some map control here.
I've got to say, for me, just quietly so far, XMS has been, the rock of this team. A couple of issues towards C early on. We've seen a lot of the attention being drawn there early. He's been solid. Yeah. Really solid.
Another thing to consider as well, Shin's early dominance towards B site has kind of acted as a deterrent for FPX for sure.
Noted at least 2, potentially 3 players, and they're actually going to be willing to fight all this scrappy work again. KARMINE CORP not afraid to take a fight or two. And no similarity to that prior round. Lovely shot from Berlin, but that's all it's going to be. 4 alive, 4 rifles remain. No problems there. KARMINE CORP retake a little bit of that lead.
Yep.
Carve away a little bit of a
big
comfort.
Positive to come out of that timeout and pick up the 2 rounds to follow. FPX back now in a position where it's pretty much everything in the bank invested into this purchase in round 11. So this isn't a win. It almost feels like it's leaning towards KARMINE CORP closing this half out 8-4. Lockdown to work with for FPX. TZH with that TP. Yuchan and Berlin 1 away for them ultimates respectively. The MO is here. Actually looking to counter off this early control outside C, just around that mound area with that one-way. And bodies up behind this for FPX as well. Yuchan being pressured elsewhere. Again, still tucked into A lobby. Seen Navera there on the X-ray. I imagine they're going to leave him posted up once again in this position. This feels like a must-win for me. For FPX, Lauren.
See what they can do. There's going to be drawing out Hunter's Fury. And the ult's now been removed. I want to see what response behind this. It's still a great Navera. Huge! Gets revealed, has to fall with it. How is he alive?
Well, hang on a second, because YU's just lost the spike on C. He walked out onto site with it.
Oh no. Well, this...
They tried to fake with the TP. The TZH has got it now, but...
That's actually filth. They've got a free site. Of course, the 2 players were going to play around it, but the TP was still there for TZH. Spike now down. What do they have for the post plant? I mean, they've still got the Viper if they really want to mess around with it.
That should already be down in my eyes, but you see here, Yuchan disconnected a little bit. Loses out to XMS.
Did not love that. TZH now 1v2. XMS already. Nuzera, a little bit of utilities play, but not a great deal. They're slowly clearing through here. See what they can find. Needs a clean fight, doesn't get it. Nuzera. Nice work. KARMINE CORP keep this together. But that, again, some of these rounds are just mad.
I mean, instead it wasn't puggy. We're pulling out the rank strats now.
Yeah.
Why are you just barreling onto site behind the lockdown that gets destroyed? I mean, it pulled the rotation. So what do I know?
I guess it kind of worked.
Great fake.
Great fake.
It's a shame they can't close that one out. TZA still had a fair bit of utility actually left, but the one thing to consider, at least getting the spike plant here, means that we're going to see a couple more rifles than maybe we were expecting. They were bankrupt in the previous, but there's gaps here. Missing out on one snake bite, no poison orb here.
Yeah.
And 2 big ultimates to work with at least, and actually 1 away from the Seekers as well.
Okay, similar scenes, similar starts. We've seen this before, but a little bit more intent from FPX to at least get towards that wall prior to Navera, who's been a consistent threat. This time, however,
the operator here.
Operator in hand.
Actually not holding the close angle either. It's a chance that maybe YU will catch Navera off guard.
Precarious fight. They're slowly creeping towards that A site as well. You can see it just slowly building towards A. 4 players leading this way. So, again, Ult's going to probably find 1, I believe, yeah. And okay, Paulo around the back. And they're actually going to just lean in towards B instantly. Spike's on the way as well. They've got at least 2 players watching towards the other side. Navera is good for it, though. Patience pays off. Mayu's down. Now we look towards what this B side is going to be.
Shin's locked them out here with this Viper's Pit. Completely covering sight. They have to fight back towards A side. Scream's actually peeled away, but there's still 2 members here, XMS and Nuzera, to lock down A site.
So aware. So aware of the possibility that someone's going to try and maybe slip through that. Another ult invested here, plenty to play with for KARMINE CORP as well. The next play is Scream does go down, and now maybe some problems here. Counter ult comes in. This is so messy, Mike. What on earth is going on in this?
Another round where Viper's Pits are going to overlap here, and actually Shin standing his ground once more to deal with another member of FPX. Only 2 left to find. No snake bites for Yuchun. A paranoia to work with, but it's a mess in there on the free cam.
Yeah, this is
They're jumping
mad.
in with shorties.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous now. And actually, TZH is obscene with this, but now has to go above and beyond. It's not going to happen. KARMINE CORP somehow weathered that storm that was going on in B. This game is bizarre, Mike. I've not seen a game like this in a while, be it Lotus, be it the way FPX are playing, be it KARMINE CORP, I do not know. But Mike, this is something else.
I mean, I'm ready for the second half. Let's see where FPX cook up in the second half here on the defense, because I'm definitely here for it.
Yeah, you and me both, and I think just checking back in on this, yeah, this was lovely to watch.
I mean, there's a world there. I think there's like 3 or 4 shorties running around in both Viper's Pits there. XMS the one to find value from it. See the laughs on their faces after that final round.
I mean, 8-4, a respectable scoreline coming in, but got to say KARMINE CORP really started to carve away a little bit of that safety net towards the end of this first half.
After that timeout, it just felt very comfortable for them.
Yeah, it absolutely did, and well, I'm sure the desk will be smug after what they've just seen happening on the first half here. Let's hand it back to them.
I tell you what, that last round looked like a few high school parties I used to have. You know what I'm saying? Things are a little crazy over there.
Yeah, that was a wild one.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
honestly, I am over the moon with what we just saw, Josh.
Both of those teams were really closely matched up until the final 4 rounds, but I feel like FPX could have done a lot more with their game plan overall. They didn't really put an emphasis towards controlling that A space. They just allowed KARMINE CORP to have it most of the time. However, in round 5, that was one of the instances where they actually did go there. So I want to showcase, because it's our first time seeing Lotus, how important this area is to fight for. So with the Viper Wall, you know, you have seen them in previous rounds sneaking up behind it, but here they were able to get a couple of picks, and they actually opened the rotating door, pitted onto the site, and allowed for a really difficult retake that KARMINE CORP couldn't handle. And I wanted to see them do that more, because the couple of times that they went towards A, they won.
Yeah, it's very true. And I think, Bren, you know, now looking forward into this, there are clear things that FPX can take away as they're going to switch sides here. It's very clear, and I want to get your thoughts. Like, how do you feel Lotus is playing out?
Well, the comps are very interesting as well, and individually, you know, we're seeing Sky being played, which I didn't expect. But the reason I think it makes sense now after watching that half is, you know, you see Scream, you see Ayang as well. If we just take a look at these guys in terms of a head-to-head, the numbers themselves, you know, not entirely impressive. We're used to seeing Scream at the top of the scoreboard, but it's how they're using the Sky. You know, you get the extra information from the flashes and the dogs as well, the Trailblazer, to be able to, like you said, Josh, take that control of either A main, C main when you're on that defense side. I think KARMINE CORP towards the latter end of that half were very, very good at vacuuming up all that space that was being given to them for free. And you kind of need to see the same, honestly, from FPX, I think, when they swap sides now.
Yeah, I actually was quite impressed with the way that Scream was playing, because he was getting tons of information for his team. And he wasn't just playing it like a duelist. They actually had some pretty good plans, double facing on different high ground, low ground setups. KARMINE CORP are kind of ready here.
Oh, well, let's go ahead and switch sides, because I'm just glad that was a quick half, because I want to jump right into this bad boy. So let's go ahead and send it back over to Pansy and Hypot.
Yeah, 8-4 on the half. Mike, let's kind of talk top level then and work our way down, if you don't mind here. Let's kind of touch base on our expectations now. We've seen the first half. It's a very small sample size to go off. Do we believe this is scrappy because of map, because of team, because of playstyle? What are we actually looking at here overall when it comes to this?
I think it's fair to kind of give credence to a lot of those factors, right? This is something that, even actually after the first few rounds, you look at where the comfort levels come from for both teams. It didn't really feel sustainable, right? Initially, FPX were very, very focused towards B's site. Obviously, then Shin finding a little bit of comfort. I don't know if that forced them to kind of innovate on the fly, but some of the rounds didn't feel like there was initially a set plan. It felt heavily reliant on audibles, which, again, when we come back to that composition discussion, that's where actually the Sky, the Omen makes sense, right? You have that ability to find information later on. Obviously, switch up the smokes as well. And the turret was already disconnected, so Really here, Carmine Corp just looking to go through some early round protocols. You see the ping coming through back towards A site. But already, Yang has headed this direction.
Yeah, it feels like, considering how slippery FPX are playing on their side of things, they're very aware of the possibilities of fakes on this. A little bit of swing from Berlin, but doesn't quite find much.
I think that first flash was a little shallow here. It's not going to matter because they see us sending shots this way. Or are they at 30 seconds? We're pulling the plug on that A site here.
And B is so unknown to them. I don't love this.
Well,
They've just got to hope, they just get free entrance to see?
I mean, you best play that Yuchun hasn't got a snake bite. He doesn't here. The poison orb's going to be up, but it's layered here with a nano swarm.
This is 10 seconds. I hate this. This is so up in the air. He's going to hit all of these steps. Now, can he do anything with it? No. XMS might just save him, but again, time has to
Oh, they're taking the kill!
So close, yet so far. And now into a post plant, decided by a couple of seconds. And now it feels like it's going to fall to pieces. Can anything else come from this round? A valiant attempt so far. TZH still looking to find value on this. Paranoia, smoke, and the TP. Gets towards sight, and the flash doesn't quite go through the wall, and Navera happy to greet it.
Just a Yang left to find here. And Clock already going to decide this one, but it's another round that definitely doesn't feel comfortable here. And I was just talking about some of the rounds where it doesn't feel like there's a plan initially. Carmine Corp probing all over the map at the 30-second mark. I mean, they're out rubble. They're outside A lobby. It's lucky. I think the timing is just ever so slightly off there for the nano swarm. Because it's the perfect setup, right? It's layered with that poison orb. You can see, I think Shin's down to sub 5 HP. Unfortunately, can't find that crucial kill on the spike at under 5 seconds.
I just hated what I saw.
Yeah,
I'm going to be honest.
I don't want to know how many pages of the scrapbook look like that one.
Yeah, that. I'd rather we don't depend on that. We play percentages if that's the game they want to play, but it worked out, so why am I worried? A little bit of a buyback here from FPX. Going to see a couple of Sheriffs and a Marshal coming out. On the other side, Spectre's a little bit more value for it, or more bang for the buck. And the spike being left by Spawn, there's no massive intent being shown. Yes, there's that early presence over towards C and the punish on towards 1, but beyond that, they're starting to look towards that B site, keeping that attention drawn throughout the map.
Yeah, Spike not committed this time around at least. Berlin forced very deep outside B. That's going to re-swing this, but XMS will punish. That should be B site. Pretty much firmly in control here of Carmine Corp.
I don't think anything else could be going better for them right now. One going to go down. They're going to catch the rotation. And yeah, no one's going to find a window into this. The Shorty v Sheriff. It's the Sheriff to win out this time. But it's a quick cleanup. I'm seeing no real threats at this point. Again, the spike now being planted. And there we go, just TZH trying to make a 5-hit. Double digits now for Carmine Corp.
Actually a big opportunity here if you look at Scream and XMS. And Scream one off the Seekers, XMS already on this lockdown. Could be very influential coming into this next round. 3 Spectres, a rifle in the hands of Navera. Definitely doable. With the investment, I'm seeing 3 light shields and a Spectre on the side of FPX. Now that's not what you want at this scoreline coming into the 3rd round.
Looks like aggression might be the name of the game here, pushing up already. And Navera, how does he even have a chance at that fight? Let alone win it. And Navera's still fighting it out. Does find 2 this round. And already down to the 3v3 here, and the aggression not really stopping here. Berlin in the middle of no man's land, but he does have support beside him, so actually coming out the better in this one.
I think elsewhere, yeah, you just saw the Vipers face off. XMS will find another kill, but it's YU to seal the deal. FPX happy to fight fire with fire over towards rubble here. Navera with a ridiculous opener though. I think literally just first bullet on the back of that Tracer after the Paranoia connects. Same discussion to be had, though, coming into this round. Still a Spectre in the hands of Berlin. Lockdown and Seekers available for Carmine Corp. And FPX, unfortunately, as good as broke if they lose this one.
time going to be offset with the one-ways here. Going to at least invest a touch more utility early on to clear close, but as we've noted already, FPX sitting quite deep this time. Not really willing to posture up for this one. Nevera going to be able to clear this eventually. See already, 3-1-1 leaning towards the C site. Paulo going to go through middle. Does actually find other players on the other side. That is XMS, but he does have support as well. Scream on the back line going to clean up too, and FPX finding no value here.
Yeah, you've got to respect the intention here to dig out, follow up on those Prowlers, feeling as if it might be a solo lurk. XMS support from the back lines. Got their eyes set on B. Yeah, the lockdown invested Seekers to layer behind this. Should be a pretty free B site for them. They're going to get themselves set up comfortably here. I mean, the Snakebite going to slow things down, but have to see where this re-challenge comes through from FPX. There's actually a 3v5 for them here.
First fight will be clean as well. There was no trade, there's no one else behind it. That's not bad though, that's a shot and a half. Yang doing very well here, 3 stunning kills. And it's Scream to try and save the day, but it's somehow down into the 1v1. How has it got here? Shin makes a bit of a meal of it, another attempt at this one now. Jump peek gives away the game, 8 bullets to play with, and Shin so prepared. But that was close to a tragedy, Mike.
Yang nearly pulled that off. Lucky Scream finally shuts him down on that one. A beautiful attempt at a retake onto B site here. KARMINE Corp with a massive investment, I think actually reading the scoreboard very well, knowing full well that this is the round that breaks the bank for FPX. And happy for this. I mean, this is over 30 seconds into the round, still with 2 setup. Anticipates that first shot was beautiful.
Nice. Mechanically,
and the swing on the third was dirty as well.
Yeah. I know if we talk, you know, expectations when it comes to, especially teams from China coming in, it's always been that mechanically, absolutely on the money. Always have been. It's always the depth that gets brought into question. If you look at prior games where, you know, tactical shooters especially, we know mechanically these players were always up there. It's just, do they have the depth to keep going? And maybe, again, we're starting to see that here early days, but this is still very early days for FPX being on the international stage, for example.
Yeah, it is. And calling the timeout here, I'm seeing light shields already. I don't think this is going to be the round that they throw their investment into. Don't have the ultimates really to back it up either. Have to ride this out, almost concede the 12th round to KARMINE Corp. Not looking as if they're going to get aggressive here either. A couple of bodies poised towards B, but I think actually it's going to be Yu-Chun just to invest the wall, get some control outside A. See how KARMINE Corp play this one out.
Yep, again, could be petering out here for FPX. Already going to be more than likely against 12. It's like a bit of a stack, exploring over towards the C site, but the default should be tailor-made for this. This should be the perfect example of it. Let's see how well it works. Very complimentary angles here as well. Yeah, it's going to be a shutdown. Lovely. KARMINE Corp, light work, nice aiming, but again, light armor. So, or not even light armor, excuse me, no armor, and just Sheriff. So this was par for the course, and this will be 12 for KARMINE Corp. FPX somewhat getting punished here, really. Once this side switch has happened, the game certainly running away from them.
Yeah, I think it was where you can make the argument for maybe not having the finances to really enable some of this proactivity that certainly I was expecting in the second half. Again, dare I mention it again, the close affair on that pistol round. All but felt, I'll be honest, fairly definitive in how this half started and how it's going to end. SMS deals with Yang. Just one left now in the form of TZH.
Yep.
And not going to have any say in this one. Looking like it might even be a prime gaming flawless here for KARMINE Corp.
There actually haven't been as many of those as normal. It has still been scrappy.
Oh, we talk about it being scrappy in the first, yeah.
And mechanically solid, but at this point, KARMINE Corp just stretching their legs throughout this game. I would say with this roster, still unsure of the level in which they could reach, even in a more traditional tournament format when it comes to KARMINE Corp, but looking solid here. Unfazed so far, and you're absolutely right. The Prime Gaming flawless coming through and putting them on 12 rounds as well. So this is looking like it could be wrapped up quite soon here, Mike.
Yeah, and for FPX, I mean, even now we come into round 18, Round 6 on the half. Still no ultimates to play with. Don't really have the options with the lockdown. I mean, want to fight for an orb early here or try and find a kill. Maybe on towards Aoyang or Berlin. KARMINE CORP sitting on the Viper's Pit, one off the Seekers once again for Scream. So opportunity really to lock down, get themselves into a comfortable post plant. Might even just challenge right towards Yuchun here. Seekers available now. Might look to pop on the back of this.
Could do. Rotations are having to respect this. You've got 3 players, make it 4 now. Coming around. Shin actually takes a little step closer, but I want to see if there's intent. It looks like it's a fake.
Yeah.
And they've drawn so much attention. I guess you have to respect it, but that's 4 players coming through. And Shin may put life on the line to try and really sell this tail.
I mean, the other thing is, well, it's going to draw out further utility. Berlin might even invest this next Prowler to clear this out. But there's 4 members of FPX.
Ooh, that one-way could... Yeah,
tunnel visioned onto this Viper's Pit right now.
And I wonder how much Shin can actually punish. Perfect lurk. Does get traded out in the end. Viper's Pit will fall, but again, they got stalled out on the A side. With that one-way smoke that came in, they could not progress. They were halted at the door.
I mean, Shin's done a ton of work there to find the kill as well on top of that.
I've got your
Is this looking like a re-hit towards C?
Yeah,
Seekers invested from Scream, yeah. I think he's going to try and follow up on this. Well, note 1 in spawn at least. Yuchun going to try and stall out with the snake bite.
It's just that side cross that is going to be the danger one still. Okay, Smoke did come around, and they do have a little bit to work with, but time again is a problem. 10 seconds now. They are running low on the clock. XMS and Navera have no way into that site. Held at the door, and this could be another one for FPX.
A shot from Berlin as well. Just Navera left standing. Obviously didn't commit to that TP earlier on. The clock will decide this one. I feel like FPX even initially looked very concerning to see 4 members staring off into that Viper's Pit. Very hesitant to clear through. Didn't invest any further utility. I think it was just the flash from Aoyang. But like you said, KARMINE CORP unable to find success or progress actually elsewhere on the map. I think Conscious actually is still going to have that Killjoy utility invested towards B site. That acted as enough of a threat actually to force them towards rubble once again. Early investment here off the rip from Yuchun. Viper's Pit out towards Mound. That should close off that avenue for KARMINE CORP. And now actually, no ultimates available for them to work with, and the pendulum swings back in favor of FPX now. Everything but the TP for TZH available.
TZH does have to be a little careful here. Does have the support from one by his side. Prowler going to go in, confirms at least one's attending, but there's plenty more behind that. Smoke just about committed in the horn, going to go up and show a fair amount potentially. Actually doesn't.
I mean, these one-ways are just so oppressive towards the lobby here, and that's why it's so crucial for actually them to reinforce TZH here, and Berlin just investing the ultimate to try and slow things down here. KARMINE CORP looking to swing through. Shin's found it.
It's brute force. KARMINE CORP just want to get this one over and done with. A little bit of a trade out comes in, sure. But still, Spike still in hand, going to be leaning through towards that A site eventually. But this, again, is so brutal to play against. They just barreled through the smokes eventually. A flash or 2 just sent them into motion. And now we're down to 2.
If you noted it there, that it's going to be difficult for TZH to get much done other than, you know, finding 2 or 3 kills. Spacing not ideal there. Actually, the lockdown going to come through. Why are you going to wait this one out? But definitely doesn't give them free access back onto site. Tree's still holdable here for KARMINE CORP, and XMS still split away from this.
You first in. Finding 1, but 1's not really going to be enough at this point. Need a little bit more damage. That's not bad. Yuchun trying to draw out 1. Here's the steps, and actually had an opportunity on the fight there. Navera denies it, and it's a 13-6 map 1 here. KARMINE CORP looking pretty solid, I've got to say, Mike. A little bit scrappy overall. The first look at Lotus, but long story short, in my mind, FPX really petering out on that second half.
Yeah, definitely.